Right, I think I've got this down to a T now. No more technical issues. Right, straight away. Right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Possibly going to be Monday night, it's not quite sure. Anyway, we'll follow on with the channel announcement as time goes on. But yeah, so comment below in the chat box, say hello, make sure the chat is working, as in the case if it can be seen on the screen. Just say hello, pop up and say anything. I'll see if I can say something that makes a difference or not. Welcome all. And see if that pops up on my screen. Yes, it does. Okay, that's good. That means that everything is working. Fingers crossed. And I spelled it right. So, okay. So now we're just waiting for people to log on, say hello, that kind of idea. And then what I'll do when we get into enough people, I'll start talking about the idea, the channel announcement that I would like to put across. So say hello to everybody, go on, put down in the comments, in the comment down there. So it's going to be a normal Q&A as normal. I do normal Q&As, but just with a channel annouement. So I want to make sure I get as many people on as possible to start with. So we have Ian Campbell. Hi all. Hi Ian, hope you're well. How are you? How is your golf going at the moment? Right, any questions? So what we're going to do first of all, we're going to do a quick, very quick Q&A, get the live stream going, and then we will do wave. Is that a pink hand? There you go, it's a pink hand. Hello. What are we going to do? We're going to do a Q&A first, and then we'll get into the announcement afterwards. Getting there at the moment, but driving a bit erratic. Are we having lessons? Do we know why the driving is erratic? Or, yeah, or are we just trying to work it out? Because basically that's what most golfers do. Most golfers don't unfortunately have lessons as a regular thing, whether it be because of cost is one thing, because lessons are expensive. It's a huge bugbear of mine as to how much stuff costs, and lessons is one of them. And I guess it's because of the construction of how businesses are set up that a lot of the time that the pros don't get their lesson money, excuse me, they get a certain percentage of that lesson money, so they have to give that certain amount away. So they have to keep their amounts they charge up to make it viable for them to even do it, which is a bit of a pain. Ian says, getting lessons and went back to basics. Iron's now really good. Well, that's good, because remember, when it comes to an iron swing and driver swing, they are different. Anyone turns around and says that the iron swing and driver swing are the same, that's wrong. Even a 3-wood swing has got more to do with an iron swing than a driver, because every single shot you hit off the deck, there needs to be a downward element to it, a slight angle of attack down. As the golf club comes down, it needs to be sort of where the golf ball, it needs to be coming in like that. If at any point, obviously with driver, we need to be going upwards, well, you can't do that if the golf ball's on the floor. But now irons are really good, which is good. Right, anyone else got any other questions for the moment? We got everything working, which is good. And then I'm just looking at my stream bit rate, because that's the techie side of things, and it's good, it's fine, it's working. It enables me to stream at a half decent resolution. So Chris S, cost of lessons definitely stops me. Have learned enough about my swing to reset when needed though. Right, so when it comes to swing lessons, obviously everyone knows I use quads. I've got reference cameras, I've got swing cameras. They're not high-speed cameras. I don't necessarily believe in high-speed cameras. I use them as reference-based cameras only. Quad tells you every single thing in a 3-dimensional way how you're delivering that golf club if you know how to use quad properly. So I'm just using the swing cameras basically to show the, oh, my TV's going to turn off. No, you don't. If not, I won't be able to see anything. Thank you. I use them as basically to show the golfer that what I'm saying, this, oh, you can see it, reference it by the camera. And by doing that, obviously they see a graphical representation of what I'm trying to explain and they get it. And so hence straight away, yeah, I'm a much greater fan of teaching the individual. As soon as that golfer not just knows what to do but understands why, they start understanding their own swing, and they can do exactly what Chris is doing. He's making adjustments, knowing what adjustments need to be made and how they feel and stuff like that. That's the whole idea of it. It's learning is key. It's pros or coaches basically should not be withholding information on the idea of drip feeding you. You should learn as fast as you possibly can do. Do you think 20 handicapper using blade irons is weird? Wrong? No. At the moment, I'm going through the passage of trying to get the JPX 923 compare, the whole range basically done, as in the video, to say like who should use this, who should not, how they perform, how they different speeds. Well, 80 miles an hour is a chosen speed that I've done. Rule number one when it comes to YouTube: don't talk about a video that you haven't quite released yet. No, when it comes to a handicap golfer, it's your ability to be able to strike middle. I have taught many scratch handicappers that use more of the face than they really should, and then I've also taught some very high handicap golfers who hit the middle every single time. They've just got no concept of face to path relationships, so they could use blades all day long. Where you could argue the scratch handicapper that does utilize a little bit more of the face, because their face to path relationships are very, very boring. They get away with it, and yeah, they don't necessarily need, definitely not, don't need Kevin improvement irons. So Terry says, have you ever reviewed TaylorMade 2021 M4 irons with senior graphite shafts? Right, no, not specifically, no. The problem is when it comes to anything that any YouTube reviewer gets, I'm not going to use the word influencer because I blooming hate it. Can't stand the words. But we're not there to influence people, we're there to educate people. And that's how I see it, it should be. Anyone trying to influence you to do anything is wrong. So when it comes to media samples that all YouTube reviewers get sent, you get what you're given, and they come in all manner of shapes and sizes. I mean, just the JPX 923 stuff that I've got, the JPX 923 Hot Metal series, so the first ones that were released last October, they come in something like 2 degrees flat lie. They come in the right in a similar shaft, but they come in 2 degrees flat, which is 4 degrees out for me, which was interesting doing the review. And so they all come in different shapes and sizes, and it's just basically what the manufacturers at the time of production have got the most of, to be able to not compromise in any way, shape or form retail. Because effectively YouTube reviews to a company are very, very cheap. They give the equipment free of charge to the reviewer, which is relatively cheap for them, really. As a general rule, if you were to think 50% of trade cost is what a manufacturer would say it costs them to make an iron, if you take into account all the logistics of everything that goes from manufacturer all the way to retail. So it's very, very cheap necessarily for the amount of publicised advertising effectively they get. So yeah, when it comes to the M4 irons, I have tested them, yes, but I've never tested them in senior graphite shafts, although it will make no difference really to me. And I've had that discussion when it comes to the videos on my channel already. Done it about 2 weeks ago. Some of it, yeah, about shafts. Right, so, any other questions before I start talking about the reasons why? What's the time now? Time is, I've got my watch on finally, it's 19:38 in the UK, which depending on where you are in the world, that would obviously be after dinner time when it comes to, or tea time, depending on what you want to call it, in the UK, but it might be like lunchtime when it comes to America. So yeah, when it comes to doing live streams, it's always difficult because obviously you're trying to deal with different people at different parts of the world. Ian says, how do we stop hitting the driver high in the face? Generally speaking, high in the face has got much to do with angle attack. If you imagine, bear with, hang on a second, I will, hang on, tell you what I'll do. I will transition to that one. Here we go. Oh, I need to put my lights on. Haven't got my lights on. There we go. I'm hoping you can still hear me because hopefully I transported the mic over to the other camera so you can see. Right, obviously tee, ball. We want driver, have I got a driver? I've got loads of drivers around. But we want a driver to come down, miss the ground and come up. Yeah, many people who hit high on the face are because they're coming down too much on the driver, so they're kind of hitting down like that, which enables them to hit high on the face. Because remember, when it comes to the understanding of, there we go, get a stick. We like to try and put, when it comes to understanding tee height, they say that golf ball, the equator on the crown, that kind of idea. And that can move around dependent on the individual's delivery and their requirements for hitting shots and stuff like that. But when it comes to people who are hitting down, if you're putting the golf ball up anywhere near where they say you should do, and you're hitting down like this, you give the option of trying to actually hit quite high on the face. When you're hitting up at the driver, because your low point's got to be behind without obviously hitting the ground first, you miss the ground, come up, and then obviously, if anything, you hit it low on the face as your miss. So the first point of call I would say would be to check your angle of attack. Right, let's flick back over. Ta-da! Hope everyone liked that little interlude. Such as Tour AD Ventus TR in aspect of performance, all good shafts. But again, when it comes to anything like that, it's what's custom fit for you. I don't care if it's £1,000 shaft. If it doesn't fit you, it's just £1,000 waste of money. Right, let's go flick back over. Did everyone actually hear me when I was flicked over cameras? I always do this, and yeah, it always gets to a point where it goes horribly wrong. So, right, I'm going to give it another sort of like 5 minutes or so. This is not going to be massively long when it comes to the live stream today, because I want this to be viewed other times as well. Yes, Minley, yes, we can hear you. Good, no problem. Thank you very much. So it worked then. All my technical side of the things that went wrong about a month ago when I first started doing live streams again, fixed. So, no problem with audio, brilliant. Right, so, okay, here we go. So, channel announcement time. If you're all ready and wearing, good. Right, so, over the past, is this what, fifth live stream I think it is now. So over the last sort of 5 live streams or so, there's been comments and there's been ideas about memberships, about the understanding of how can the AskGolfNut community, if you want to call it that, do better for the people which want to support it and also be a part of it. Now, as my YouTube channel is growing, and it's doing well, I'm quite happy with the way it's going, and I've got little trends of how far it's going to go in the next 3 months, 6 months, a year, and all that lot. I'm finding it progressively more difficult to keep up with trying to respond to the comments that I get. I've always tried to respond to as many or all, or I can't do all, but I try and do as many as I possibly can do. That is getting to a point of where it is near or nigh on impossible. So my suggestion, and on the live streams I've popped this out there at different times and people have been quite positive about it. I've put different ideas out and people are quite positive about doing some form of memberships. Now obviously Lee Zen, how important is lie angle on irons? Massive, absolutely massive. There you go. Okay, so there's 2 ways of dealing with fitting of irons. So should we go back over that way? Let's go transition back over that way and see how we get on. Right, let's see if I can move this chair a little bit. Can I go that way? There you go. I think you'll be able to see me there. There you go. Right, so when it comes to irons, anything will do. Now, what happens when we're dealing with irons? In a fitting, you have, which camera to look at, doesn't matter. In a fitting, you have basically 2 main golfers to fit when it comes to lie. You've got pro golfers, or very, very good golfers, which hit ball, floor, never interact with that bit first, never interact with the ground, or very, very lightly, so lightly is ridiculous. When you're talking about an individual who is ball floor, you fit lie to fit trajectory, yeah, because you can move the lie around, you can change start point, change curvature, that idea. Within reason, obviously you can't bend it too much, but yes, because they're doing the right job, they're doing ball floor, ball floor, ball floor, they are exiting out, their low point is after the golf ball, divot after the ball, that kind of idea. Right, when it comes to high handicap golfers, most high handicap golfers do interact with this little area down here, the painful area, the bit where we really shouldn't be hitting, but obviously people do. Then in that case, if you've got a poor lie, be it sort of toe down or be it toe up, whichever way it is, heel down, whichever way you want to call it, you are going to get certain amounts of twists. So if you've got toe up, let's just imagine you've got toe up, you come in, you hit the ground first, the heel's going to dig, it's going to twist the face over like that, and you're going to shove everything left. If you've got toe up anyway, the loft, where's my little pointer? There's my little pointer. There we go. Ready? Stick. Right, the pointer, as soon as I move, so I'm going to get the flat on there, as soon as I start moving the handle up and down, you can see the pointer moves left and right, left and right. Well, that's a lot of start direction when you're talking about, and people can really move their handle, like ridiculously move their handle. So when it comes to lie, it's massively important. When it comes to toe down, it's exactly the same thing, but the other way. Now, if you don't get any, and it's obviously hard or soft ground when it comes to summer, winter. If you're going to play in summer where the ground is hard, you're going to get twist, as in say the toe down is going to come in, hit the ground, want to twist open, yeah? In soft conditions, that toe is going to come down. It may not twist open, but it may start ploughing biomass, otherwise known as grass and dirt, up the face, and you're getting that cushioned, fatty, duffy contact. So to answer the question, when it comes to how important is lie, huge. Depending on what type of golfer you are, and even if you're a pro, let's face it, you're going to be using lie to tweak trajectory anyway. Right. Oh, hang on. Right, Nadla, hi Jay, did you find out about dimples and golf balls, etc. from the video the other day? I have been doing some research and I have been putting cats amongst pigeons. People do not like me asking questions. We'll put it that way. Whoops, live stream again. Good evening from Denmark. Hello, Niels. Hope you are well. So I did start talking about the channel announcement until we started talking about lie angle. So me. Mike Cook, hello, just logged on. Hello, Mike. Regilo Mendez, got refit to, so use TCBs. Fitter recommended 6 flat. You can't do 6 flat. What? You're going to have a 4-inch long shaft. There you go, there's 6 flat equivalent. Hitting tight draws now when making good swing, was surprised to hear 6 flat. I know of no manufacturer that will go 6 flat. And now, look, a ping G anything is that notch out the back. Have I got, oh, it's over there, can't be what. That notch out the back of a G iron allows, or a ping iron, allows the head to bend like crazy amounts. Nowhere near 6 flat. You will get 6 upright out of a ping. Maroon Plus, it will run 6 up, but that's a lot. A lot. I've never seen 6 flat, ever. That's a strange one for a fitter to recommend. I would never bend anyone's 6 unless they were like, if they were 6 upright. If they were 8'10", then maybe so. But no, it's 6 flat. I would be, as a coach, I'd be turning around and saying that there's a swing characteristic here which is causing a problem with compensation within your swing. If you're a few degrees here and there, it's a characteristic you can fit for a characteristic. If you're having to compensate for delivery, and if you were that far out on lie angle, it would be a compensation. That's a swing fault, it needs to be fixed. Or at the very least, if you're going to get fit, it needs to be under the understanding that when you're having lessons to fix it, you are going to be going, I'd probably meet you halfway, I'd probably get you 3 degrees, and then you've got to do the rest. So at least you're working towards it, and as you're doing your work, the golf clubs are getting better and better and better, that kind of idea. Right, Chris, how do you get comfortable with forward shaft lean impacts? Coming from someone who used to flick the iron, I feel so uncomfortable when rotating to impact. I always hitting fat and chunky. You'll have a dynamic loft issue, you'll have an angle attack issue, you'll have a low point issue when you don't use your wrist angles correctly. I'll tell you what, Chris, I'll flick over Annika Rice again to this one so I can show you what I mean. Is that in the right position? No, move it that way. There you go. All I end up doing is blocking out quad. Right, so we are talking about hitting down, that understanding of having that angle, yeah? That kind of idea. Most people do, as in we're talking about, is this. When people do this, that's what they end up sort of. Why do they hit the ground? Okay, so if you imagine, which is the best camera to do this on? We can do it this way round. We'll do it that way round. Yeah, so, right. When you have this set up, yeah, you have this angle. You don't have your arms stretched out like this. So the distance basically between your shoulder and that golf club is X, whatever that X is, yeah? And you have that angle. Obviously, when you swing back, you change that angle. You bring the golf club closer to you because you're putting more retained angle in. Don't want to call it lag. So hate lag, can't stand lag, retained angle. People have this preconceived idea what lag means. It's terrible, and of course it causes problems, but don't worry about it. Anyway, so we have this retained angle, lag, yeah? As we get rid of it, when we do this, what we end up doing is straighten everything out. And of course, that golf club has effectively got longer from where we were at address, which means the low point has now been elongated, means you are going to hit the ground first. That kind of idea. And if you don't, by you lift up, what's going to happen is your club then flicks through this way, you buckle, your wrist buckle, and you produce loads of dynamic loft. The golf ball goes so high up in the air, you hit everything to the moon, and it doesn't go very far. All because of this. Now Rory does that drill where we're talking about here, where he tries to get that feeling of, he gets that his hand over to his left leg before he then starts releasing. There's so many things you can get down here, and you can try and get to a point of where you feel the butt of the golf club is looking at the pin or looking at your target. You get to here, where most people, if they did that, they were doing this. You can go get an alignment stick. Yeah, put it round like this. Yeah, you've got it in there like that. And if you go this way, you're going to stab yourself with it. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as putting like sharp edges on it, but you kind of get the point. If you go here and you hold that angle on here, you can see you can use your wrist angles. Yeah, you are not going to hit yourself. As soon as you start letting it go, smack yourself in the side. So very, very simple things you can do to fix that problem, because that's quite a common problem, I must admit. Right, flick back over, press the transition button. Here we go, back again. Hope that helped. There you go, Chris. Lizenzo, can my local fitter bend my Ping G425 irons? I'm guessing so. It just won't match the color code. Lizem, make sure you send them back to Ping. It's a fairly cheap. It is a cheap process. Very most, I think you'd have to sort of charge. I think they charge. I don't think they charge much then when it comes to. You might get a small admin fee from where the local account is, but effectively, yeah, you kind of got the idea. It's such a small charge. Don't get anybody now. Okay, when it comes to, I'm going to irritate some people here, and I don't care because it's true. Right, if you go take your golf clubs to your local pro, he then gets his bending bar in a machine. So basically put into a line machine, it holds the golf club and it measures exactly what it is. And then you get the little bar that hooks like this, and you basically like that, or bend it that way. Okay, let's just understand this for a second. What happens, what happens if it breaks? And things can happen like that. I mean, manufacturer's defects are they're inside somewhere, you don't even know they're there, and of course you do, and it breaks. You think, oh, okay, that's not good. You have to then disclose to the customer that you've just broke their 6-iron or broke their 8-iron. And you're saying, well, it's a manufacturer's defect. I've bent loads of these and they've never broke. This is the first one that's broke. I'd tell you, honestly, I don't know what happened. It just broke. You go back to Ping, let's just say Ping. And Ping are going, yeah, well, we didn't bend it, you bent that, so we're not covering that. If you'd have sent them back to us and we bent it and it broke, well then we would give you another 8-iron or another 6-iron or whatever it'll be. So you have this problem, because then who's responsible for your now broken 6 or 8-iron? You have not got a golf club anymore. If you send them back to the manufacturer, always, if you can, send them back to the manufacturer, they will bend them properly. And if there is an accident, if there is an incident with your golf clubs, whatever reason, it's their responsibility to replace them. If they cannot replace them when it comes to the single iron, more often than not, they'll replace these set. Yeah? So I am going to frustrate some people I know by obviously taking potential business away from local, but it's only the honest way to do it. Because if not, if there is a problem, if there's no problem, absolutely fine. But if there is a problem, yeah, it's concerning. So there you go. Right, have we got any more questions? No, cool, right. So when it comes to channel announcement, we have, so yeah, over the live streams that I've been doing for the last, I am 4 or 5 times now, we've been questioning sort of what should we do when it comes to memberships, as effectively as the channel's starting to grow. I'm struggling now to being able to keep up with the responsive comments and stuff like that, and helping people as best I can do, because I love helping people. I can't help it, it's in my nature and I want to do it. Obviously the more people that need help, it's getting more difficult for me to be able to allocate time to be able to do that. I understand when it comes to like channels that have got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers and the amount of comments that they get, I can understand to a certain extent why there's always people saying, oh, you never respond to comments. Just how much time it takes. So there has been some conjecture and some talk and some suggestion that memberships would be a good idea. Now, when it comes to memberships, I've got an issue with many things when it comes to golf and life in general. Expense is one of them. If I was going to do memberships, so like do tier systems where you do, say, first tier would be a very small amount of money per month or whatever it be, and that would be there basically to then you get, or your perk would be priority comment replies. If you have a comment, then absolutely, then if you are a member of that, then you get your priority comment reply. There you go. When it comes to, say, a middle tier, then that middle tier, again, it could be something like, I don't know, £1.99, £4.99, and then the next one. We'll be doing like membership live streams, like these live streams here. So we'll get quite a few people coming on and asking questions, and I can try and help them as best I can do. And of course, if we can't, it's only a one-way conversation, but again, I can talk and I can read. We can then sort of drill out the requirements at the time. Neil's pop one said, do you think a lighter driver shaft with more flex would benefit more golfers than it hinders? Have you seen this whilst fitting or coaching? Interesting one. So when it comes to fitting purposes, generally speaking, if you're going to make a mistake when it comes to fitting, and I've said this to I don't know how many people now, just go too stiff. Yeah, worst thing you're going to make is someone straighter. They might get slower because of the physical weight, which most of the time stiffness brings. Not all the time, but most of the time stiffness brings. But generally speaking, people's dispersion gets smaller when you put something stiffer in their hands. Now, it may also reduce distance and stuff like that. So there's always a case of you go as light as you possibly can do, as long as you possibly can do, whilst retaining control, strike control, basically. That's the biggest thing. Club head speed is one thing, yeah, okay. People saying I want an extra half an inch, 3/4 inch, an inch on my driver to gain some speed. It's relatively tiny compared to the loss of speed or ball speed you get if you don't hit the middle because you can't control the length. So I would always go as far as saying when it comes to fitting, you need something you can control. If that means it needs to be shorter, so be it. If that means that you need lessons to control it, so be it. If that means you just need a change of weight or a change of bend profile to control it, so be it. It's just making sure that you do the right one in the right order and you get the right and best maximum amount of use from it. Yeah, that's the whole idea of that one. So yeah, when it comes to memberships, right, so we're talking about what we just talking about line, stuff like that. And then I was thinking about doing like a higher tier. So for the people that want actual active help, then we could do a higher tier, which when people choose to do that one, I would then, not only would they obviously get their replies or answered like anyone else on the lower perks as such, but what they would do, they would get like allocated time of like my time to help them directly. Now, where that may be a video chat, that might be a quick brief video lesson, understanding of launch monitor characteristics and data and helping them that way. It could mean just understanding and what their equipment is and the direction which they really need to go. It could be a multitude of things when it comes to that. I'm not a great fan of doing coaching based stuff, especially when I cannot interact And I suppose if we were doing this in a video feed, then yeah, of course it'd be worth it and it could be done. But yeah, so that's the whole idea. So I've got at the moment, I'm gonna have like 3 tiers. One like priority comment, so the people that want to have their comments answered about whatever question, about whatever a piece of equipment or whatever it be, I will obviously respond to those, because as the channel's growing, as it's getting more popular, I'm getting far more comments, and I'm sort of struggling to be able to like find out which ones I should and should not reply to. It's just so difficult to, how do you make the judgment about what person you should or should not reply to, because every single individual that has made the time to comment on your video, watched it and then commented on it, deserves my time to be able to reply to them, and it's so difficult to be able to allocate time to do it properly. So Tony said, did I miss or have you done a review for the Ping G430 irons versus Hot Metal 923? Right, so have you missed it? No, you haven't. Let's have a little look. The powers of YouTube, and see if I can do this on the fly. You can probably see my face is blown up because yeah, I'm on YouTube. So, where was it? It was down here, that one there. So, let's see if I can do this. I'll copy that link and then watch this. See if it works. See if it works. It could be exit. No, don't exit live stream. Please don't exit live stream. No. Right, I'm just got working out how this works. So. There we go. Dun. Right. I don't know. I don't want to be putting in that one, but right. I'm going to put it in the comments for the moment. There you go. So for you, Neil, I have literally not Neil, Tony. Sorry, for you, Tony. I have just popped the link to that video in the comments section. Or the description, sorry, of the video of this live stream. So if you can go have a look at that one, that's done well for you. That's a good, decent video, must admit. That's going fairly well when it comes to YouTube, and I don't understand how YouTube's algorithm works. Don't ask me, but it does. That's been viewed basically 40,000 times. There you go. So 40,000. It's weird how YouTube's algorithm works. But yeah, so when it comes to doing things in the way that I like to do things, it is difficult. It is very difficult. So trying to do things in a way which is fair to everybody. There has been some conjecture and some talk about the best way to do it. Right. Let's see if we can go back to... There we go. Frugal Fix, Golfer and Guitars. So I like that name. But it's your YouTube channel, so yeah, you can't change it. Hi mate, how you doing? I hope you're well. We are literally getting to a point of where, what have we got? I'm just looking at the statistics. Looking at the stats. So what would you think? What do you think about your, what's the potential when it comes to memberships? I initially wanted to stay away from them because I don't necessarily believe people should be paying for YouTube and stuff like that. I can't stand it, I'll be blatantly honest. However, there is a certain level of understanding of being able to get my time and use it in the proper way. And it is becoming very difficult. Now, as the channel gets even more popular, even more views, even more comments, even more interactions, it's going to get harder and harder and harder. So there needs to be a way that I can try and segregate it. And when it comes to memberships, it's not like I'm saying that if you're not a member, I'm not going to reply to you. Of course I won't. I would try and reply as best I can do to every single individual that bothers and puts the time in to support and get involved within the community, the channel. So it just means that if you are a priority, you get priority response when it comes to if you're a member. And so having that 3 tiers, having like the, well, don't want to say bronze, silver and gold, it's not that, but yeah, I can come up with something. It just means that, as in like the first tier, like whatever it would be, £2, £1.99 or whatever it be per month. And then you get your answers or your comments answered, replied to, and then $4.99 or whatever it be. You then get live streams, as in this. And I'll probably do a live stream every month for everybody, but when it comes to the people that are gonna want to be involved in that, I'll do weekly live streams, and I'll also be able to do special stuff as well. So when it comes to behind the scenes stuff, live streams for me are a little bit more of a they're relaxed. They're not as polished as videos normally are. It's live, so things can go wrong when it's live. But yeah, so the whole idea would be a case of a monthly live stream for everybody, but then the weekly live streams will be for the members that want to be actively support and be involved within the AskGolfNut community. And then obviously the people that want active help, the people who want my time. And I've done stuff in the past where I've done either Zoom, Instagram, or any form of video lessons as such. We can look at doing that in a way which is going to be, well, a little bit more manageable more than anything else, because if not, it just gets so crazy. My time is so, yeah. But what do you think? Go on, comment below in your little chats box. What do you think? What is your thoughts and feelings when it comes to, well, the dreaded memberships? I've got my own thoughts and feelings on it, but then there's a lot of people on the community here that have actively pushed me to have it. I'm not entirely certain, but if there's enough call, and there seems to be, then I'll introduce it. But that's the idea going forward. And I suppose when it comes to it, what will happen is I will start it, and if it goes crazy, then okay. If it doesn't go crazy, then I'll possibly pull the pin on it very, very quickly, because the last thing I ever want to do is yeah, frustrate people in any way, shape or form, because I don't like it personally. If it was up to me, it would just be normal. But then unfortunately, some people who really do support the channel and spend a lot of time replying and stuff like that, and commenting and getting involved, I then don't have the time to interact with them. YouTube drink. This time, it's, without showing you what it is a different colour. Last week's was mouthwash. This looks like, what fluid in the car? Is it brake fluid? Brake fluid is like a pinky colour, isn't it? Good idea. If you trust the source, I trust you, so it could be perfect. Yeah. Membership will be a good idea for you and us. Oh, Min Lee, oh, thank you very much. You've just donated £2. That'll be, see, there we go. That's a thumbs up for memberships. Yeah. What I'll do a monthly live stream for everybody. So it doesn't matter if it's memberships or not. I'll do, for all my subscribers, I'll do a monthly live stream, but then what I will do weekly ones, and it'll be chats about certain different things. Obviously Q&As as normal, but there will be talk about the recent videos, what's been going on behind the scenes, what am I doing behind the scenes. Thanks for the advice, and I think that's a good idea. Okay, Chris, no worries. So, anytime, quite happy to help if I can. Let me know how it goes when it comes to that. It's not the easiest thing when you're dealing with and problems with shaft lean. As soon as you get that, oh, there you go. As soon as you get that idea though, as soon as you start hitting down, the contact changes straight away, the crispness of contact and the thud you get. So when you're in a simulator, you definitely feel it. When you teach someone, they finally understand the retained angle, and then they deliver that with a shaft lean into it, you get a completely different sound and thud into the screen. It's that, I hate the word compress. There is no such thing. A golf ball, hang on, a golf ball does not compress. Yet people continue to want to say that a golf ball, oh, you feel the compression. No, A golf ball does not compress. A golf ball deforms. Compression is two opposing forces. There is no other opposing force. You've got a golf club on one end telling the golf ball to go a different distance or go in a different direction, sorry, because obviously the golf ball doesn't want to go until it gets told. So you have one force telling it to do something, and then that's it. You don't get anything else. There's no such thing as compression. It's deformation. The ball deforms. Lloyd, what's your thoughts on Stealth 2 drivers? I've been told by 2 friends at separate retailers that they just can't sell them. Do I get myself in trouble here? No, I won't. He said Titleist and Cali are getting better numbers in fittings. Right, so I will give you my Alex. I've just seen some what is it? Hang on, I'm checking now. What is that? You're right, it's pink. Yeah, hang on. Bear with. My arms are getting worse. I don't know what it is. Well, it says fruit. Does that count as one of your 5 a day? I think membership Patreon is a good way to be able to support the channel and quality content. Yeah, Niels, that's a great idea, and that's what I think I will do. Niels, what I'll probably do is I've been looking at, so very quickly, off golf topic for a second, Niels. There's the emails that you've sent, I have been looking into, definitely. Why? Because yes, I have got my NAS down here. I've got a 24, a 6 terabyte, 4 terabyte drive, so 24. Although for some reason, you'll be able to tell me this. Obviously it reads only 5.46, and I can get that obviously because 1024 bytes to a K and all that, like kind of, it depends on how you calculate it. But when it comes to putting it on a RAID 5, I only get 14 or 15 terabytes available. And I have got, in that storage pool, I have got Snapshot on, but only a very small amount. But anyway, so back onto golf. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I think it is, well, it does taste like pink grapefruit, to be fair, Alex, so I must admit. So thank you very much, and thank you very much, Niels, for appreciate that, I really do. Pink grapefruit, I'm not quite sure what it is. I don't really like grapefruit normally. So when it comes to Stealth, let's talk about Stealth drivers. Okay, I reviewed Stealth 2 Plus, and it is an interesting beast. Okay, driving for me, personally, when I get into the routine of hitting driving is, my driving's okay, it's pretty good. My iron plays a strength, yeah, so I know I've got strengths and weaknesses as a golfer, as every golfer. Doesn't matter if you're pro or if you're a handicap golfer or a beginner or on the PG Tour, doesn't matter. You have what you call strengths and weaknesses. That's being human. I am fully aware of my strengths and weaknesses. My strengths is definitely iron play. My approach play is very, very good. I do know how to hit the number that I'm trying to hit and stuff like that. Driver, when I'm on, golf is easy because I'm not short when it comes to the distance I hit. I've just got to keep it in play, basically. Stealth 2, it was the Plus that I had, so yes, it is the most unforgiving of the lot, but I did struggle somewhat trying to keep it on the planet. You hit some really good shots, and you can also hit some wowzers, and so if that's the case, that they're struggling to sell them through, there are either don't like the colour, because yeah, it's red, or they're effectively when it comes to their fitting, they are doing their job correctly, not just focusing on the good ones. The Titleist driver, I need to do the Titleist drivers. I've got access to them, I just need to go and basically get the time to do them. They're long, as in yeah, but again, what driver really isn't long now? When it comes to it, you're not gonna, when it comes to a handicap golfer, let's be frank, when it comes to a handicap golfer and you hit all over the face, if you hit all over the face, you're not gonna be wrong buying a ping, ever. You're not. I mean, is it gonna be the longest driver out there? No, it's not, because it's still, regardless of what they say, lighter, faster, whatever they're gonna do, it's still a ping and it's still a brick wall where the rest of them are polystyrene walls. And so, yeah, you hit a golf ball against a brick wall, that golf ball's coming straight back at you. If you hit up against a polystyrene wall, the polystyrene wall's going to give. And when you have heavy head weights, there you go. Lewis Williams, is Rory finally going to win another major this year? That's a really good question. Is he? I was surprised more than anything, and I'll put this out there. I saw Mark Crossfield's post of Guess the Golfer, and for a second even I had to double take that was actually, yeah, a young John Rahm. Wow. I'm getting older and I've got to be careful that I don't put on too much weight. But John Rahm's changed an awful lot. Yep. He's very dense now. Frugal Fix the Golf Guitars. Trying to grow my channel, but more find the lag, never found also. Sorry, I'm not. But more find the lag, never found also. Mizuno is what my son sales. Yeah, we'll pay gladly to get help with all. That's the idea. So just a case of trying to get it right when it comes to levels and stuff. Lloyd, sorry, just to follow up. It's fine, Lloyd. I don't mind. Follow up as much as you want. They've told me on mishits in particular, titanium faces seem to perform better. That's what they're finding. Well, if you go on TaylorMade's marketing website and then you watch all the things that was done with Tiger and everyone else, I can't remember who it was. I watched it briefly. And then they say, well, they put that little, what was it, a penny or whatever it will be in the middle of the face sprayed round. You cannot hit that. Tiger was trying to hit it off their different parts and actually just missed it, like, yeah. But they were missing it. Now, okay, do you know what? Every golf club, yeah, is, if you hit it off the toe, hit it off the heel, now there's a certain amount that you have to leave the face either open or closed, or not, depending on what roll and bulge is how it's working on that golf club. For the delivery that you have, it's a multifaceted, complex scenario, but a golf club can be massively forgiving when it comes to hitting straight. It will be short, so all those shots that you were seeing on there, they were hitting it wham, like massively whacking it off the toe. They were short in comparison to the middle hits, definitely. My thing from when it comes to forgiveness is retention of ball speed. Yes, that's important. And also the ability when it comes to a roll and bulge face, hybrid, fairway wood and driver to hit target, as in there's an adequate amount of roll and bulge for the gear effect that it will put on the golf ball to make sure it obviously goes away from target, comes back in and gets to where it should have gone. And, well, depending on where you're leaving the face. If you can leave the face 5 or 10 open or closed, that's where the ball's going to go. The golf ball doesn't know where target is. The golf club doesn't know where target is. The only golf club, only thing that knows where target is you, and obviously you're in control of making sure that both of them know where they should go. If you mishit it, that's what forgiveness is for. It's interesting doing the forgiveness testing that I do between irons and driver. Anyway, yeah. So that is that one. I'm not going to go. So what's the time? Okay, 1:15. I'm not going to be much longer, just purely because, well, not being frank, I want people to be able to watch this afterwards, and they won't do that if they're in a situation of it's gone like 7 hours long. That's not going to happen. They're just not going to do that whatsoever. So I'm just going to go change the create thumbnail. Oh, go away. Do I have to? Oh, I have to change this, don't I? Yeah, change. Come on, you stupid thing. I'll change that. I'll leave it on there for the moment. I mean, that's a poor thumbnail, but it's better than seeing Bryson on there. Right. Chris, what is the approximate dimensions of your simulator room there? Oh, do you know what? I've just got to apologise. Reason being, if my wife is watching, my wife's a stickler for the English language. So she would say, oh, it's used the wrong there. Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't really care. I'm looking to get a shed built to get a full-size sim so I can practice all the time. Right, so, okay, when you're building a simulator, it's got to be built much more around what your own requirements are. So you can go big, you can go small. It all depends. I've gone a certain size because of focal length for cameras, and you could turn around and go, yeah, well, you could just go get another lens. Well, you could, but at the end of the day, keep it simplistic. When it comes to having the dimensions of the simulator and partition walls and wherever you want them and stuff like that, you make it what you need. When it comes to a lefty-righty, there is a rule when it comes to lefty-righty. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll flick over to this screen here. There you go. Okay, and so you can see. Yep, you can. Cool, right. And I will get big stick. Big stick, as you can see. There you go, camera there. Right, when it comes to big stick, this room is 4.3 meters wide, basically. And the rule of thumb is you can get away with 4 meters as the absolute smallest possible, limited 4 meters small possible. If you want to be hitting from the middle, so a lefty, and then also, I'm not going to stand on my balls, you know what I mean, like this, yeah, that kind of idea. Now, the problem you get is if you are going to put TVs up on the wall, you can see the TV in that one there. That TV there, if you're going to put a TV up on the wall, so when you hit shots, and when I'm doing video reviews, obviously you see what's going on the screen. Yeah, you see that. I'm seeing delivery that pops up onto the screen, which I then overlay on a video. Yeah, you see that. And then it then goes back down to the like the range view, but I have the practice ribbon, so I'm calling the information off of there, and then obviously you're seeing it up on the screen. When you have a TV up on the wall, that obviously reduces the width a little bit, not by a lot, but enough, and so you've got to be careful. So this is 4.3. I've never had anyone ever get to a point of hitting. But when you're talking about putting bags in certain places like this, I can only get a bag there. I couldn't put it, but I could possibly put it here, but people might feel a little bit claustrophobic. And then obviously I can't put anything on the wall because if flat, I'm fairly flat, but if you get a flat individual, oh, hit the floor. Yeah, you don't want to hit anything which is, yeah, worrying. Do you like the, up there? Oh, hang on, do you like the display? I finally got my display up on the wall. I'll put it up 100%. I don't know if it helps. No, that definitely doesn't help. That's too much. There you go. So in there, I've got my copper heads that I put on Instagram. There you go. That kind of idea. Right, let's go flick over. Hope everyone enjoyed that little delve into simulator sizes. What lofts and grinds are your wedges? I'm boring. I don't really care too much about the grinds and stuff like that. I'm a 50, 54, 58. I prefer slightly more bounce on my 54, and then a 58, hardly any bounce whatsoever. So like 8 degrees, 6 to 8 degrees, and then something like 14 or so with my 54. There's a reason for that. Shall we do a reason for that? A theme for a live stream, maybe detailed walkthrough of your room and AV setup. Oh, can you imagine how many people would fall asleep to that? I have gear, so I've got a 4K setup anyway. So 4K screen, 4K TVs, cheaper than 4K monitors. There you go. 4K monitor up on the wall as well. Everything has to be 4K. The reason why, because my PC that sits just out of sight here, when it comes to Foresight stuff, everything has to run at the same resolution. If you run at different resolutions, Foresight won't output to that. You'll get blank screens and stuff. But I've got splitters, HDMI splitters, obviously, because we've got 2 sources, 2 screens. Yeah, it does get a bit complicated, but it looks quite cool. And when you've got FSX Play, who's like properly a much better 4K simulator software when it comes to playing, I don't play. I mean, this is a work tool. This is not anything. Yeah. Great. How do you end up mounting the copper heads? Right. So have I got them here? So basically, what I did. I had some different ideas from different people and rolled them through my head. So I had some dowel. So I got some 9mm dowel, and then basically cut that so it would obviously fit in. So I had to sand it a little bit, fit in, so it's friction fitting. And then I drilled a very small hole into that, of which then, you know, you get like they're got cup hooks. They're like L-shaped hooks with little screw in, and you screw them in like really tight. There you go. And then I basically drilled a same high size or friction fit hole in the dowel as to the top part of the hook, and I basically just slotted them on top. So it's a minimal fixing. Chris, there, thank you so much. Looking forward to come and remember when it comes out. Yeah, I'm not afraid of the light. I am not afraid of the light high and behind you. No, that's quite a long way away. Believe it or not, that is a long way away. I'm not a fan of the lights behind. Right, so the reason why, when it comes to these lights, that way around. Can you see? No, I'll tell you what, I'll flick over. I'll flick over on here so you can actually see. Whoop, didn't press the button properly. Press the button right now. Right, so when it comes to the lights here, you can see one up there. No, you can't. Yeah, you can see one up there. I've got them in different parts of the rooms. I've got 4, but they're double lights and they are shining on me. Is it distracting if you were playing golf? Yes, being absolutely honest, it is. But through YouTube, I need, and I've also got some studio lights. So a studio light, you can possibly see the light that's coming from here, look. Yeah, here. Kind of idea. There's a light literally there. And that's shining on my lovely face. But what it does, I have it down on the deck over here and shining up. Why? Because this is fairly, yeah, shadowy, and so I have to basically do that. But yeah, I've got lights, but they're basically shone on me because of YouTube. In other situations, you wouldn't have another light. You'd be much nicer, out the way, possibly in the ceiling, so they're not glaring in your face. I'm used to it. I'll be honest, I'm used to it, and it doesn't worry me too much. I'm not a fan of the too bright. Well, they are. They are. Now, say what I did when it comes to. I'll get my head. There you go. Headrest. When it comes to lights, though, the lights are going not towards the screen. Wash out. I mean, I've got a BenQ LK936ST, which is a 5100 lumen 4K laser projector. However, all projectors are, well, you put too much light and they wash out. So even having this light, because this light that I've got in front of me here, just obviously lighting up my face, because it's a light which disperses everywhere, it's still, to a certain extent, it will. So if I was to turn that off, that would become fractionally more vibrant. I mean, it's a 5100 lumen. It's fine, don't worry. You can put a lot more light on that and still play, no worries. It's just that for the lighting of YouTube and everything else, it has to be like this. It's not a chosen when it comes to, if you were playing, you'd have them in the ceiling and they'd be shining down, but away. There'd be those ones that you can tilt away from the screen. Love this Q&A. Hitting driver 5 to 6 degrees up and into out 5 or 7 degrees. Driver. Hitting hooks, man, hitting hooks. Face slightly open to path, wow. 5 to 7 degrees from the inside, 5 or 6 degrees up. Face is open to that. Wow, three hits of those, you're gonna be back to where you start, because that's starting right, going right. Woof. Yeah, path. I would all day long fix that path first. So let me imagine this, when it comes to generalize why people hook, why people slice. People don't think, oh, I've got to leave my face open by 4.6 degrees because my path is 7 degrees out to in. Brains don't think that way. The human brain is amazing at trying to apply a face to hit target. It's amazing at doing that. It just does it. It doesn't do it very well all the time, but it's doing it instinctively. It's having to do that because your path is wrong. You're not swinging down the line of target. So your brain knows you're not swinging down the line of target. It knows that you're swinging that way when target is this way, so it has to do a certain compensation. No different if it's the other way around. So when you change the path, it takes a little bit of time for your brain to rejig itself, but when you change your path, you're always working on the basis of that your brain, your subconscious is now helping the change that would be required to the face as well. So I generally speaking always change path first because face is so much easier to change after that. If you change face first and your path is still knackered, then your brain is always working against you, or your subconscious is always working against you. So yeah, fix path first. St. Cruising, I need a tip with staying with the shot. Staying with the shot. 20% of the time I get my body head ahead of the shot. Help. As in a case you do this, you slide or you look up at it. If you look up at it, I mean, there's been some very good golfers, and Annika Sorenstam's one. What's his name? Henrik Stenson does it. David Duval. Well, he's not such a good example, but you know what I mean. They moved up like this and done quite good. Jack, hi Jack. What is the recommended angle of attack for each golf club? What's your speed? Speed is a component of angle attack preference. So the slower you are, the shallower you should be, and the faster you are, the more you can get away with down. But that question very much so is loaded as to what speed you are applying. So yeah, so I'm at 92, 93 miles an hour, fully warmed up with my 7-iron. My angle attack is around about 4 degrees, 4, 4.2, 4.5. Generally that kind of idea. But because I've got speed, the more you hit down, the more error you have. You get away with a bit more, but you launch lower. As long as you're not going to interrupt your hula hoop, what I call my hula hoop. Your hula hoop is just a hula hoop, your swing arc. If you don't change your loft as the angle attack changes, if you have just a natural hula hoop, then you'll display less loft if you hit down more. You can do that with speed because you're going to be bullying that ball, golf ball through the slightly lower launch angle, but it's staying on that launch angle for longer, so it's peaking up for gravity has an effect and it has to come down. When you're talking about slower speeds, launch is key. We have to get that golf ball launching, so you have to shallow it out a little bit. There you go. Don't show your wife my run on question with no punctuation. She will freak out. She will. And she's right. She picks me up constantly. She hates hence the reason why. Can't say hence the reason why. You say hence why, or the reason is. You can't say hence the reason why, because the reason why are the same thing, apparently. Mr. Mumble, you can play in circles and guitars. Yeah, it looks so. It's okay for the dog legs, but not on straight holes. I want to lengthen my graphite G45 irons. What is the shaft inside diameter, and what are they and are they counterbalance? If yes, how do you deal with that? Send them back to the manufacturer and they'll do it. Are they counterbalanced? Yes. As a general rule, they are counterbalanced when it comes to all the woods and stuff. When it comes to the irons, depending on what irons you have, if I remember, the Alta CBs do have a plug in the butt. Yep, I said that. Yeah. So, right, when it comes to, as we've got a few more people, and I haven't said it for a little while, we are just talking slide ahead. I save it with my hand, slide ahead. Okay, I'm now trying to focus on the back of the ball. Right, so are you talking about, when it comes to St. Cruising, are you talking about how are you applying more weight to your left-hand side? Are you then over applying weight and you're tipping forward onto your left-hand side and leaving quite a lot of weight off your right foot? Hi, Mr. Simon Taylor. How the devil are you, sir? I just want to pop that one out there. So you can, there's loads of different things when it comes to putting tees underneath the feet. So you can, a lot of the time you're not even understanding, not even feeling what your feet are doing. You're putting a lot more weight on there. When you start taking the sensation, or you get the sensation of using, say, tees or half a tennis ball or alignment stick underneath your heel or even your toes, you're then very much so understanding the fact that you're moving weight on there, and then you can just concentrate on hitting small shots to start with. Just don't go at it full to start with, because your brain is in hit mode. Hit mode is a predetermined computer program that your brain does to hit a golf ball, and so to interfere with that predetermined, very, very complex but very, very rapidly moving program, you have to do it slowly. And if you do it slowly enough, you can obviously, your subconscious mind can then to tell your muscles what to do, and then as you get used to it, then you can dial the speed up gradually and gradually and gradually to a point of where you get it full speed and you're there. Ben Loth, you're the man, Jay. Well, Some people say, some people don't. Some people have their own opinion. Oh, it'd be boring if we were all the same. Just don't step on Jay's balls. Don't step on Jay's balls. That's not good. St. Cruising, yes, too much weight ahead of the ball, power loss. Well, yeah, it is right. So you can do, I'll tell you what, very, very quickly, for St. Cruising, and we've got a few more people that have joined that haven't heard about my plan of doing memberships. So I will talk about this and talk about memberships. And before we go, because we are getting to a point where it is getting late. Right, so you can use multitude of things. Have we got a tea? We haven't got a tea because I don't use teas. Well, we got a tea. I'll tell you what. This is a tea. It's not a golf tee that you'd normally use, but it's a tea. So you put it on the deck. And which one's got? So you can see. Can you see on that one? You can see on that one. Yeah. If I move it back a little bit, you can see now, can't you? Yeah. All cameras you can see. Right. So if this was a tee, not just a tiny little thing, you can feel it under the foot. And if you're kind of getting to a point where you're sliding this way, and then you're having to save it with your hands, yeah. Power loss, you're right. You need to get to a point of where you're moving weight, but you've got something that you can brace to let this retained angle, not lag, retained angle go, yeah? Can't do that if you're over here. You'll just basically drill the golf ball in the ground. So most of the people then get to a point of where they release like this to try to retain some loft by breaking down the wrist that way. All manner of different things go wrong. So as soon as you have a tee or something under your foot, you can feel the amount of weight that you are moving, and so of course then now you can either do that, we can do it with a alignment stick. Alignment stick's even easier because obviously you can really feel an alignment stick underneath your foot, and the whole idea is you're trying to hit some shots where if you've got a shadow above your head, you've got a light, it doesn't matter if you go outside. Okay, maybe not this time of year. If you live in the UK, there's approximately about 3 weeks of the year where you have a shadow, and then we lose it for the other 49. But if you're lucky enough to have a shadow, it's say behind you like that, you can start hitting shots. And I'm not talking full shots, I'm talking like little chips. I'm talking like getting little shots like this and getting to a point of where you get here, you're looking at your shadow and hitting little shots like that. But you're feeling how much weight is on it. You're not thinking about going, you're not thinking about doing full shots. As soon as you start doing full shots, you'll just get to a point where pre-programmed, your body's just gonna go like that again. Don't want that. Small shots, little shots, where you're thinking about not really hitting the golf ball. You are obviously hitting it, but you're thinking about the weight that you're playing. Think about that shadow. You don't want that head moving massively this way. You wanna concentrate on keeping the weight nice and central and keeping that head nice and central. You wanna get to a point of where you can near enough, yeah? And you can do that if you practice it. It's like one of them ventriloquist things, isn't it? Where you, anyway. Right. Ben, you helped make my MP223 purchase much easier, thanks. Did I? I hope I did. Don't blame me. I can't remember what I said now. Hope I helped. So if I helped, then that's the main thing, and I'm happy that I did. Right, so very, very quickly before I go, back to memberships. This is the final thought we're going to have before I disappear, and that one is, right, what we're going to be doing is, going forward, I am going to be adding memberships to the channel. Reason why? Because the channel's growing, the channel's getting busier, and the more comments, the more interactions, and it's just, well, it's great, it's fun, I like it. But I'm finding it much more difficult to be able to allocate any time or the amount of time that I'm required to be able to reply to every single person. It's becoming, I can't do it. It's just too much to do. So to make sure that I allocate the resource to people that not deserve it, that's wrong. That's what I say. It's not right at all, because everyone deserves the time that they've watched. They've put time watching my content. They've had time putting comments down. I will try to reply to everybody. However, I can't do that. I can try as best I can do, but I can't. However, I'm going to do memberships where there's going to be 3 tiers. It's looking like 3 tiers. And so a very small amount, like £1.99 or whatever it is. I need to work out the numbers on it. I need to work out how YouTube does it for a start. £1.99, and that perk will give you, you'll give you priority reply to YouTube comments. The second tier will be something like £4.99 or whatever it be, and that will be replies and live streams. So members live streams, where we have weekly live streams where we can chat about all different types of things. access to the more of the normal me, rather than these kind of scripted, well, I don't script my videos, but you know, I mean, it's all the top of the head, and yeah, but the normal videos that you see, it'll be much more laid back kind of thing like that. Any kind of, shall we say, early access stuff, little sneak peeks to, and they won't be put on the internet, as a case of these members stuff will possibly be put onto members on the internet for only members to view, that kind of idea. So I can give you slight sneak peek looks at certain stuff that I'm possibly not allowed to show to the public. Yeah, and then a higher tier. The higher tier is going to be for the individual that want help, the individual that wants help with their swing, with their equipment, and they want some additional time for me. And so by doing that, we can then allocate time to do video or call or interaction with launch monitor data, their equipment choices, that kind of idea. I have not played on a golf course in 10 years, about ready to go back. Long story, yes. Is that back? Was it back? I think it was. Yeah, I don't, yeah. Although saying that, it feels like 10 years since I've been on a golf course. Too busy. Zenkerin, I'll try that with small shots. Yes, definitely, always small shots. Tiny shots, chips, pitch, 3/4, full. Chips, pitch. Remember, drill, 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 hit. Drill, 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 hit. Drill, 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 hit. Don't just keep hitting balls. It's not the quantity of balls that you hit, it's definitely the quality of the balls that you hit. There you go. Goldfish, I fix all my old cars myself. I am not going to send my clubs back to the factory to lengthen 1/2 inch. What are they going to do that I can't? Well, nothing, to be fair. And if you're, so Goldfish, I can't remember your name, I do apologise. I've seen so many, and yeah, I just, you have to appreciate, obviously, I don't know everybody, and I don't know everybody's competence. You would not believe the DIY attempts that I have seen when it comes to people just trying to change their own grips. Yeah, so when it comes to that, you have to do a little bit of a balancing act. If you know exactly what you're doing, if you know everything, then by all means do it. Absolutely. If it's got no butt plug in it, you know what I mean, take the grip off. It's got no plug in the butt, which is a weighted plug, obviously, for counterbalancing. If it's got none of that, you can then just stick a normal shaft extender, a plastic shaft extender, obviously they're metal ones and stuff like that, but a plastic shaft extender in there, glue it in properly, all that lot, cut it off, and you can then put the plug back in, most probably, depending on, yeah, and then basically just do all the things, and then swing weight it and all that lot. Obviously, you can swing weight is going to get heavier anyway if you're going to add length to it, so the chances are you may not even need to put the plug back in. But again, I digress. If you know what you're doing, again, absolutely. I do everything myself. When it comes to building stuff, I'm a very creative kind of individual. I like using my hands. I created my simulator absolutely by these two things. I had a few bits of help from my dad, and I thank him very much for that when it comes to different bits of knowledge and stuff like that. But basically, I've done the whole lot myself, so I understand and agree. Sounds like I want to be a member number 1 of the top tier. Okay. Do you have any? Well, I'm always happy on that one. Always happy to spend some time. Do you have any experience with disabled golfers that use a paragolfer? No, I'll be honest, I don't. It's so when it comes to golf, I mean, I think it's an amazing thing that you can have a game that is potentially open to so many different people with so many different abilities and disabilities in golf. So I mean, obviously, everything's an ability or a disability. Now, obviously, some people have got one arm, and there was this one-armed golfer that was it's amazing how he hits golf ball. Is incredible. But everyone has got abilities and disabilities where it comes to, even with when people have got the right amount of limbs. They haven't got the ability that I've got when it comes to golf, but they might be they work on the stock market, and I'm useless at that, so it's relative. Everyone's got abilities and disabilities. Some obviously have got harder ones to get and work through, physical ones, for example, but yeah, we're all on this planet to try and have a bit of fun when it comes to playing golf. Just bought some 93 Forge and can't wait to game them. Yes. They are a good old hit. I've been hitting them today, actually, doing a test, doing a comparison, final comparison, JPX 923, compare against the whole range. What golfer use them, who should use them, what they're good at, what they're not good at, that kind of idea. Rule number one in YouTube, don't discuss about a video that you haven't released yet. Right, so unless anyone's got any other questions, we are going to finish it now. So we've got a chance for everybody or want to watch it again rather than going through 3 hours like there was 3 hours last time. So, cool, soupy. I love that word, soupy. Right, so I will leave the video up on here for people to comment when it comes to, once this live stream is finished, about there wants to be members or not. I will continue to put posts up on YouTube community and get the lowdown on what people think. As soon as I've got an understanding of exactly what people like at what levels and stuff like that, and again, I'm never going to be pleasing everybody, and so I just have to do a little bit of a, will you ever test Wilson stuff? Honestly, if I can get hold. So at the moment, the reason why I haven't got hold, I haven't got hold of the Shrixon stuff, I haven't got hold of the Wilson stuff, I haven't got hold of the Titleist irons yet. I need to do that if I can. So I need to reach out to manufacturers. So when it comes to Mizuno, Ping, TaylorMade to a certain extent, I've got access to all this stuff. So, but when it comes to, because my channel is not as big as Rick Shields, because of Peter Finch's, because of Mark's, yeah, I am not going to be on their media samples list, their media partners list on all manufacturers. Different manufacturers have different levels of what they perceive as a criteria for allocating someone a spot on their media partners list. Some manufacturers are blooming ridiculous on what the requirements are, and it is hilarious. I mean, there's a certain manufacturer I will not say, but their requirement is for Instagram followers and stuff like that. Well, I don't do Instagram. I don't do Twitter, really, and I only do YouTube, don't really do Facebook. Yeah, so I don't know how it's going to work on that. I'm busy enough just doing what I'm doing, let alone pummeling those other ones as well. YouTube this and Instagram that, Facebook this, and I'll be all day doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, I might try and seek if I can, yeah, get it elsewhere. YouTube drink. Brake fluid again. Yeah, that pink stuff. So, right, if everyone is finished answering questions, I will I'll let this live stream finish, and we can discuss memberships and stuff at the end. Sun Sales Mizuno has friend with Wilson for my channel. Yeah, to send them my way. No, it's fine. I'll see if I can get a hold of the Shrixons. I've had a lot of comments for Shrixon and Titleist. I will find out a way if I can. I'll see if I can get hold of it. Now, when it comes to, we appreciate your site. Thanks for doing what you do. I am an 8, but always try to improve. An 8 handicap is a good handicap. If I could do it all again, if I could not do golf for a living, if I could just do a normal job and play golf for fun, I'd be an 18 handicap again. If I could, that's what I'd do. I'd get handicap back and I'd go back to 18. 18 handicap's great handicap. Just the most fun I've ever had. Everything after 18 handicap, single digits, very low digits, scratch, you get to a point where you're just pulling hair out. And bear in mind, I haven't got much of that to pull. Right, so, all done. If everyone's happy, I'm going to now finish and leave the live stream there. Comment below with what you think about memberships. Obviously, I know there's a certain few that are very much so into it, and I will put it through there on the different tiers and stuff like that. And I'll just let it run, and people can do what they want to do and stuff, what they're happy doing. I will obviously at 649 subs, really hard to get test clubs. Yep. I was there once. Honestly, I was there once, and if I was to change my channel in a way which means that I was to do more cinematic based stuff and useless content, rather than much more measured stuff, much more information based, much more educational based stuff, then my YouTube channel would grow faster. But I refuse to go down the road of clickbaity based stuff on the behest of me trying to get clicks and try to get money from it and stuff like that. No. I want people to watch my stuff because it's valuable to them when it comes to them deciding what golf clubs they're going to use, and what if anything that I'm using is even something that is going to be useful to them when it comes to different golf clubs have tendencies to be better than others when it comes to mishits. If you know where your mishits are, you hit out the middle or you hit out the toe, and you're looking for a golf club which is, I'll keep on playing with stuff, you're looking for a golf club which is going to be useful out the middle, all are, but then useful out the toe. Not all golf clubs are the same when it comes to how they hit a golf ball and how forgiving they are when it comes to different strike locations. So that's why I do what I do. I do it uniquely, and hopefully the channel will grow, because Frugal Fixer Golf and Guitars at 649 subs and the views that you get, and 649 you are not yet monetized. As soon as you get to 1,000 subscribers, you can monetize, and if you did monetize, obviously then you are you're eligible for payment when it comes to advertising. You'll realize just how little you have to do a lot of YouTube stuff to make YouTube worthwhile. And so when it comes to doing what I do it understanding that it's going to be painful to start with, but I will keep going. I am not going to be dissuaded in my view of my channel has to grow in a certain direction. It has to grow, but it has to grow honestly. And if it does not, I'm not gonna step over that line of dishonesty based on the Holland standard that I want to get views because I want to get paid more. That's wrong. It just grinds on me, and I won't do it. The channel will die before I break my moral stance on things. There you go. I've said that now, and I blooming well, yeah, I'm gonna stand by that. Right, so that little kind of soapbox moment. If anyone else has got anything else to say, Stephen Frederick, hi. Will you be doing online lessons, Stephen? What I would do when it comes to the memberships that I'm going to put out there, I'm going to do 3 tiers. I'm going to do the smallest tier, which is like guaranteed replies to comments. Middle tier would be guaranteed replies to comments, and also access to live streams and stuff like this, where we can have the weekly live streams that I'll do for the members, I will be like this. It'll be a bit more light-hearted. It will be doing stuff and stuff like that, and we'll do a monthly one for everybody, but you kind of get the idea. When it comes to the top end of the tier, that will be for people that want help when it comes to talking about their swing and stuff like that. If you're going to look at something for doing online lessons, as in full-out online lessons where obviously it's elongated, I've done them in the past. I used to do loads through COVID, obviously because of the nature of everything. And so yes, we can do that should you wish. I asked, we'll chat later, but basically when it comes to online lessons, there's a requirement for seeing certain angles and stuff like that, and if we have a launch monitor, which most people haven't, obviously that's beneficial, but it's not necessarily absolutely required. But as long as we've got a decent enough connection, we've got a decent enough resolution on our conversation, our chat, then it all should be possible. It is possible, and I've done it before anyway, so there you go. But I'm thinking putting a 4th tier in for people that want that would be a little bit mental. So I'll possibly do that as something away from YouTube, rather than doing that as a part of the internal structure of memberships. Right, so if everyone's finished, I will leave it there. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you very much for commenting. Thank you very much to, I will just say, thank you for Minley for donating £2. Thank you very much. Memberships will be a good idea for you and us. Alex for donating $10 for some more pink grapefruit juice, of which obviously this is pink grapefruit juice, YouTube drink. And then also Neil's Alex saying, I think memberships Patreon is a good way to be able to support the channel and the quality content. So thank you very much for everybody that has donated. That is, yeah, very, very kind of you. So unless everyone's got anything else, no they haven't, which is good, I will leave it there. I hope everyone is well, doing good. I will be doing this again next Monday, I believe, I'm thinking. And so as long as everyone else is happy doing it next Monday, I'll probably do an 8 o'clock start to give people chance to log on and get home from work and stuff like that. But Golf Addict, hi Jay, how are you? In capital letters. Missed the live, darn. Get your caps lock off. It's like you're shouting at everybody. You're funny. No, it's good. I'm good, mate. I am good. Thank you very much. So for Golf Addict, Mondays, 8 p.m. UK time. We'll continue to do that. And then when it comes to Golf Addict, just for the last people, memberships, I'll be putting it on the description possibly of this. It's all right, don't worry. Sorry, lol. I'll put in the description of all the different bits. I'll do that later. I'm going to go in, I'm going to travel back and yeah, we're going to pack up for the night. It's all done, and then I'll start editing what I've done for today tomorrow. But then I'll see everybody next Monday, 8 p.m. UK time. Jump in if you can. And then do you know what, for members, Golf, your thoughts on the UST Pro Force V2 HL and the Tensite AV Blue 55, what do they bring to the table? I love these questions when it comes to shaft, because shaft questions are unique. When I say unique, there's characteristics of shaft, right? So bend profile of shaft that are, a shaft will do this and a shaft will do that. Yeah, that's what the whole idea of bend profiles are. They're meant for this person, meant for that person, kind of idea. Yet, if you go get that same shaft and give it into different people's hands, they will play that shaft absolutely massively differently. So when it comes to a fitting, you don't just fit on the basis of, well, you're doing this, so you need that. It is a much, much, much more individualistic, excuse me, YouTube burp, fitting than that, it's marrying the equipment to the golfer, and you don't know how an individual's going to react. So you're giving them something like this, which you're expecting with a bend profile to do that, and it does the absolute opposite. So what I have learned in my time is, when it comes to the specification sheets of shafts, and manufacturers love sticking out marketing information about what the new Ventus this is going to be like and blah blah blah, right? I take that with a huge pinch of salt, because until I get it into the hands of golfers, honestly, I haven't got a clue what it's going to do. And if you don't tell golfers what's going on, you'd be amazed what kind of results you get, contrary to what the shaft should be doing. Master Obi-Wan, yeah. In California here, I'll be back. I'll watch all of the vids, love it. Well, I personally agree, but in this instance, and this instance only, I'm a touch biased. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate the answer. Cheers. No problem whatsoever. So, everyone's happy. I'm going to go. Thank you very much for everyone's donations. It was very much so appreciated, and absolutely. Anytime anyone does that, it's something which is done out of their own kindness, their own heart, and it does make a difference. Obviously, the channel was growing and the channel is doing well. But I don't make money like Rick Shields does, and so yeah, I'm resolute in what I do. And I'm no doubt at one point the channel will be self-supporting itself. Fingers crossed. So, hope you're well, hope you're doing good. Yeah, finally caught you live. Alistair, hello Alistair. Oh, thank you very much. Golf Addict has just literally just sent over $5. I appreciate that. We'll call that the YouTube drink fund, shall we? I'm drinking brake fluid today. Well, that's what it looks like anyway. I appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you. Right, okay. All being equal, I will see or speak to everybody next Monday. That all depends on what we're going to be doing when it comes to memberships. So I'm going to try and get memberships sorted out before next Monday, and next Monday might be the one where we turn around and say this is the last one before we, yeah, I don't know. It takes a little bit of time for me to get into it, so we'll see. Right. Thank you very much to everybody. Hope I answered everyone's questions as best as I possibly could do. And don't forget to comment in all the other videos. I've got loads of other videos going on at the moment. Obviously, I've got the a few controversial ones at the moment. We're talking about shaft, that's one funny one. About the launch monitor stuff, that is a very good point on that, and anyone who's trying to follow that one up, I will, as soon as I get some information which I'm able to give, I will absolutely happily give that out, because yeah, that's a can of worms, I think, on that one. So, well, share, support, do all that things we do with channels and stuff like that, because as the channel grows, yeah, it becomes more and more fun, and the more like subscribers I get, the easier it is for me just to reach out to manufacturer, and they'll just give me the stuff to be able to test with and to compare with and do all the stuff that you want me to do with. So thank you very much, guys, hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon, well, next Monday as such. Where's the off button?